God bless Jack Black for giving us the best cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Kung Fu Panda 4 is about Po trying to find and train his successor as the Dragon Warrior, all the while defeating the sorceress known as the Chameleon. Hello and welcome back to another review from HLHReviews. Today I will be reviewing Kung Fu Panda 4, the fourth installment in the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Just to give you guys a quick background, I enjoyed the first two Kung Fu Panda films when I was a kid, and I still do after all these years as an adult. I saw Kung Fu Panda 3 for the first time before going to see the fourth installment, and I really enjoyed that one, and I didn't really have much expectations for the third one. So overall, this is an enjoyable animated franchise for its world, its action scenes, and for its lead character Po, who was improbably chosen to be the Dragon Warrior to protect the Valley of Peace. And as the first movie progresses and the rest of the movies as well, he is shown to be a great Kung Fu warrior, despite him also being a bit clumsy. So yeah, pretty much an overall fun franchise to watch. I didn't have a lot of expectations for the fourth film, especially since I haven't watched the first two films since I was a kid, and I missed out on seeing the third Kung Fu Panda film. So I walked in with mid expectations, and all I have to say is that the Kung Fu Panda films altogether they're just one of the most consistent film franchises in terms of quality. There has never been a bad film, and this film strengthens that, even though there was stuff in it that felt weak compared to the previous three. Let me go over why. And we're starting it off with not our soups, but our buckets of popcorn. Yeah, not the positives, sorry. But yeah, going on with the buckets of popcorn now. First one is the performance of Po given by Jack Black. Now, he's as awesome as always when he plays the character of Po. Jack Black overall has always been one of my favorite entertainers out there, especially for, his comedic side. And he's always just one of these people that, they're guaranteed to make you laugh with just whatever the character they play. And Po is absolutely no different. Whatever you expect him to do as the character, he delivers that in spades every time, and I honestly don't think anybody else but Jack Black can play this character and consistently do that for the span of 16 years we've had with these films. Everybody else that was a part of the cast all give great performances for the characters they're playing, including Dustin Hoffman as Master Shifu, Awkwafina as Zen, the great Bryan Cranston as Li Shan, another great one, and James Hong as Mr. Bing, and Viola Davis as the Chameleon. So yeah, all together, the cast, they all give good performances. The action scenes are by far one of the best we have gotten, or maybe the best that we have gotten in this franchise, especially with the ones that we get to see in the third act. The way they're able to show these characters fighting and pulling off all these moves is a blast to see. And it was almost as if I was actually watching live action characters performing these moves instead of seeing them being animated characters fighting. And the animation helps strengthens that as well. I mean, after all, it's not too surprising. I mean, it's DreamWorks, and I don't think DreamWorks has ever failed in showing how they can do their films. But Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, not really. So yeah, overall, action scenes and animation, that was all fun to watch. And I liked the concept of the story that they wanted to tell, that Paul is told to go find someone who can succeed him as the Dragon Warrior so he could be the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. That was interesting, and by the end of it, it does make you think of where they could possibly lead all of that, or just, the way that it wrapped up. It shows you what can they do with that for a potential fifth film. I'm saying the concept, I'll get to the execution of all of it, but I did like the concept of the story they were going for in this. And now we get to move on to not the mixed, but the gas station burritos. The main one here is the character of Zen. I like the concept of what they were going for with her, especially with how they wrap up the story, and I can easily see where, they plan to take with her if we ever get to see a fifth movie. She's a thief bandit who joins Poe on this journey to, stop the chameleon. And although I did like her character, the reveals of her being with the chameleon all along, they were just plainly obvious. Especially from the moment her first scene shows up. When that scene happened, I was like, yeah, they're gonna be revealing her and being in cahoots with the chameleon, right? Yeah, they did. All right. She does turn back to being on the good side, and she does help Poe fight and defeat the chameleon, and she is destined to be the next Dragon Warrior. And, all that, it's good stuff, and narratively, I did like that, but I just felt that, this all would have been, it would have felt much more stronger if they didn't make her reveal plainly obvious before we even got to the reveal. And now, not going on towards the negatives, but instead, it's time to get to the things that I throw in the dumpster fire. First thing is that I did not like the villain we got. Now, you have the chameleon who shapeshifts into anyone she turns to as well, and sorry if this is a bit of a spoiler, cover your ears or just go to the theater to watch this, but she shapeshifts into anyone she wants, and she can easily take the kung fu away from them. All of that is an interesting concept in and of itself, but her motivations of wanting to take over Juniper City and all of China, as well as the fact of, her shapeshifting into anyone and taking the kung fu away from them, these are, similar things we've seen of, this is all stuff we've seen with Lord Shen from the second film and Kai the Conqueror from the third film. And in my opinion, both of those characters and their motivations in those films, they were done better than what we got with the chameleon. And kind of a little bit of a nitpick here, but I'm not really a big fan of the way Li Shan, I think that's what his name was from the third film, Poe's actual father, and Mr. Ping. I did not like the way they utilized these two in the movie. And for me, it was kind of disappointing because as someone who recently watched Kung Fu Panda 3 for the first time, I liked both of those characters, especially Mr. Ping, and I did like seeing the development that both of those characters had in the third film. But here, I just don't get that, and it just kind of feels like they're a little bit out of place in this movie. In fact, it kind of, even though they're here to do, giving Poe some lessons, especially Mr. Ping, oh, if I didn't change, I wouldn't have become a father for you. And, all of that, it's good stuff, but I just felt like they didn't really had served much of a purpose in this story. And if you took them out of the film, I do have a strong feeling that the story would have reached its, conclusion in the exact same way, just without, these two characters. The last thing that I'll say as a criticism is, even though I liked with, where they were going with the story, it's overall weak to the ones we've been getting from the previous three films. You had the first film where you had Poe, who's, he's improbably chosen to be the Dragon Warrior, and even though the Furious Five and Shifu don't like him, he stayed and he took the harsh treatment because he hated who he was and felt that, they would change him. The second film had Poe finding where he came from and learning that Lord Shen killed his family. Here, with Poe going to find who can succeed him as the Dragon Warrior, you get plenty of charm and good character moments, especially with the ones, with that conversation that Ping had that I mentioned with Poe. Like, this is all good stuff, there's good character moments, there's charm, and, this is all stuff that I value from the previous films, and I do like seeing all that. I just wish that all that was accompanied by a stronger story, because I just didn't really get that with this compared to what I got with the previous films. But all in all, I did have fun with this film. It's a fun movie for everyone to enjoy. I'll admit, it's my least favorite of this franchise, but I can easily see myself coming back to this one, just like I did with the previous installments, so it's an overall fun time. And to wrap this up with my rating, Kung Fu Panda 4 is a fun experience with the best action so far in the series, great animation, and plenty of charm, even if the story overall is weak compared to the franchise's previous heights. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please tell me how you feel about this film down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and to see a lot more from me in the near future, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you can get notified every single time I upload. I hope you all have a blessed life, and in case I don't ever get to meet you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.